Welcome, welcome, welcome to What's Your Why? Building a culture of gratitude. And I know a lot of us have a lot to be grateful for this week, whether it is having shelter from the cold, whether it is having water, whether it is having heat, having electricity. No matter where you are, we see a lot of things happening in our nation that makes us grateful for what we do have. Even if we're missing one of those elements, we can look at the other element and go, well, at least I have people and friends and love. At least I have, right? So this is a great time for this topic, building that culture of gratitude. So I am Dr. Desiree Alexander. I am your host for today. I am the founder, CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting, and this is how you can contact me. Yay! Now, today, in about an hour after this one is done, I have a fast hacks using Google for productivity class. And you can stream it on YouTube. This is on my website. At least the stream button is on my website. So you see how it says register at edalex.net/events. So that's where you can go to register for all of these amazing things. And I do want to stop right here and say that if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, first of all, hello. Second of all, if you look right under the video, whether you click on show more or if you click on the little arrow, if you're watching it on your phone, you'll see all of the links for the resources and all that kind of stuff right under here. No, you can't get a certificate, but yes, you can get the knowledge. And of course, you can register for all these amazing events that are coming up. Next, we have online personalized learning with Microsoft Immersive Reader. And if you haven't played with Immersive Reader, oh my goodness. Like even if you're like, well, we're a Google school, you want to come and see this because Microsoft is free for educators and students. So you want to come and see this. I cannot stress that enough. So I don't care what your district uses, you want to come and see if this is something that you can add to, what you do. Then we have on March 13th, the amazing Rochelle talking about fostering connectiveness and SEL. And all of these are on the website, will be on the website for you to register. Then we have Tanya coming on back on March 27th, talking about trauma-informed care for educators. She's also coming back once a month. So in April, we're talking about SEL practices, and in May, talking about movements and meditations and kind of getting ourselves set up for the summer. So there you go. Then we have in April, creating with littles. Littles teachers don't always get the love and the training that they deserve. So I want to make sure that we do some stuff just for my littles teachers, but of course you can always come and modify. Then we have inclusive collections. Hello, librarians. So we're going to be talking about library connections that serve all populations in May. Again, in May, we have Jim coming on back with Think Google is Free, TGIF. So we're going to be talking about that. Then we have in June, amplifying thinking routines using technology tools. We have the lovely Debbie coming on back. Then creating your digital library with Nancy Jo Lambert. If you don't know her, you're missing out. And then we have back to school with Bunsey. So we have so many already going throughout, but I still have, I think, 3 in my email right now that I need to make flyers for because we got behind because of the weather. So guys, you want to look at all of these amazing events we have coming up and start registering now. Then I have a webinar on April 8th with the Heart of Innovation webinar series. So you can go ahead and register for that. Then Change Global is back. The 24-hour OG original 24-hour conference before we, went into pandemic and now everybody's doing all these conferences. No, boo. This has been for years, the 24-hour virtual conference, and we are back. So just save the date. Registration and all that good stuff will be coming out soon. So just save the date. All right, we will have an evaluation at the end, but again, you only get this if you are live. And for my people that are live right now, we will post this 15 minutes before the session ends. So you know what? It's about that time, everybody. I feel like we should have music like dun, 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 because it's time. It's time for Tanya.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me again. I really appreciate you as a person, as a educator, as a friend, and as somebody who allows us to be able to come on for these free, amazing resources, tools, information, and then posting it even after the fact to be able to go back and get more information. So thank you for having me, and thank you for building a culture where we are gracious for you and your expertise. And so today we're going to talk about, what is your why? Why are we here? Why are we educators? Why should we extend gratitude? And then also building that culture. And so again, my name is Tanya Chapman Griffin. I'm a licensed prevention professional. By day, I work for the eye care program in the East Baton Rouge Parish School District. And I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. And so as an eye care prevention specialist, we actually go into the schools and teach drug, alcohol, and violence prevention to students. We support staff, we support parents, and of course, also our community partners. By night, I am a certified Zumba fitness instructor and a certified work dance fitness instructor as well. So love just a holistic approach to wellness, including the physical component, but also working with students and families for the mental and emotional preventative measures as well. And so here's my little family, Desiree. We are here. This is my husband, Ontario, who is also a teacher. He is a digital media arts teacher, all things extraordinaire, and he works on the high school level. I have two little girls, Layla and Lennox, 8 years old and 6 years old, and they are just full of light, love, and joy.
Supermodel.
Okay. Supermodels. And so what's interesting about that picture, and I don't mind sharing, is that we took that picture in freezing cold weather, not as cold as this past week, Desiree, but we took that as a family photo because we realized in 2020 that things are constantly changing. We were going through different levels of trauma, which we'll talk about next month, trauma-informed care for the educator, as well as taking away personal information that can benefit when we have littles who are going through traumatic experiences. But we wanted to do something fun with the family. So we said, we need to go ahead and take a family photo because we hadn't done so in a long time. And just that experience was one that provided gratitude for their hearts and for mine. And so we're going to dive deeper into that today. But the eye care mission, as I stated earlier, talks about prevention education. Usually in other school districts, it is called social emotional learning. But for us, we actually have a program with a staff of about 18 people. We cover 40,000 students and about 5,000 staff members, the entire district. And we advocate for students. We empower for them. We provide resources, technology tools, and we all use evidence-based prevention education curriculum and methods. Mission for Curvy Girl Dance Fitness, thank you for talking about my business, is to provide a holistic health and fitness option that is friendly, inviting, and educational while strengthening the entire family. As you talked about virtual learning over all of last year towards the end, we wanted to make sure that kids at home stayed active, as well as my own. So we started focusing on confidence, sense of community, emotional well-being, radical self-care techniques, which we talked about in January. And then we also provide mindfulness trainings and, of course, dance fitness. So if you are interested in fitness for your family, engaging in fun virtual fitness, feel free to check out my website, curvygirldancefitness.com. Love to have you. So let's look at the objectives for today. We are going to discuss gratitude and the benefits of creating a thankful environment. Let me go back, I'm sorry. Identifying ways to establish a culture of gratitude, practicing mindfulness techniques for personal self-care and gratitude, identify techniques to share with groups and students, And then we're also going to discuss the ways gratitude can be expressed to loved ones and students. And so before we get started, Desiree, I have a little surprise for you all. I want you to grab something that you can either drink or chew and have that ready, okay? So I know, Desiree, you talked about not having access to water, so I just want you to grab anything you can that you can eat, chew, drink, and just have that by you, even if it's an Altoid, okay? So I mean, we're living through extreme measures right now. I am in a hotel. I know some people have just got power back. Some people may not have water, so grab what you can, and we're gonna be thankful for whatever that is, okay? And have that by you. All right. And so I want to read this quote to you all because it really resonated with me week before last. And so I decided to keep it on here. It says, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." So I had to kind of like swallow that, right? Because a lot of times we look at Instagram or Facebook or coworkers or friends and we're like, they really got it going on. And then sometimes you feel like you don't have it going on because you're comparing your situation to others, and that's not fair to yourself. When we talked in January about mindfulness, being able to be aware of what you have going on and then also to be non-judgmental of yourself is so important. So this again says, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up." And that is the successful part. That's the part about being resilient, like we talked about last month. This quote is by Nelson Mandela. It means a lot to me. And I use the coffee beans there, Desiree, because when we make a good cup of coffee, we don't just throw those beans in. Those beans have to be ground up. They're grinded. They're going through a lot of different situations, a lot of different circumstances, even some adversity. And then in the end, it makes a really good cup of coffee, warm, fulfilling, hearty, tasty, right? But those beans had to go through so much to get to that end result. And so as I talk to you about that today, I'm also trying to encourage myself because I'm living in a hotel room. All right. So now I hope that you all have that item with you already. We're going to do a short little icebreaker. That's where I like to be hands-on. So we're going to set our intentions and express gratitude. And so this is something that you can do for yourself. This is something you can do with your students, with your coworkers. If you're leading a PD at the school, you can do that as well. So what I want you to do for me is to put in the chat, what is something or some things that you are right now for today very, very thankful for. Okay, something that you are very, very thankful for today. And I'm going to go ahead and put mine in the chat. All right, Desiree put shelter and love. I put lemon water, that is so refreshing. Thankful for power and water, peace and health. And you can keep those coming for me. And so some of the things that we're thankful for today, we are so thankful for them because of everything that we have gone through. If you're in the South, or if you are in areas that have been affected by all these winter storms we haven't had this kind of weather since 1899. I looked it up. We are thankful for things that we may have taken for granted before, right? Like I possibly could have taken heat for granted before, that every time you turn on the faucet, the expectation is that water is going to come out regardless. And now we're realizing that that is something we are thankful for because we did not have access to that. And some of us still don't. Health and family. Thankful that me and my family made it through this weather unharmed. Shelter, health, having energy, power, fire in the wood burning stove, health and family, shelter and health, my sanity. Yes, Miss Johnson, I was almost off the sanity boat myself. So happy to have that. Thankful for a roof over our heads. And sunshine. Yes, Janice, I just told somebody I needed to look outside the window and just let the sun just shine on me and feel the warmth and know that everything is okay. We are still here and we are stronger for it. And so thank y'all so much for sharing those expressions of gratitude. And so when we are able to actually take the thoughts of gratitude outside of our minds and put it on paper or type it, we are placing that outside of our bodies, and that actually helps to make us feel better, right? And so we want to make sure that we are encouraging our students to do that practice, even if it's something small like an Altoid, or something that was insignificant 2 weeks ago, like water. And today it's so important to be thankful for running water, or thankful for power, thankful for our health and our family members. That's very healthy for them. It's also important to set our intentions. We talked about setting intentions last month because it helps us have a roadmap to know what we want our end goal to be, right? So to me today, I would love for you to help me create the roadmap. Tell me what you're looking forward to learning or looking forward to talk about in today's session. Let me know what some of your intentions are for this session today to help me create our roadmap for building a culture. And I'll look for those. And it's no wrong answer. And Desiree, let me know if you have any intention for today too.
Absolutely, will do.
All right, and I'll let those keep coming on in, and I'll read them as they come in. All right, and so as I wait for the intentions, I want to go ahead and do the definition of gratitude. And so the definition of gratitude reads, let me move this around. It says the quality of being thankful, showing appreciation for, oh, I'm sorry, everybody. And to return kindness. I'll read it again. The quality of being thankful, showing appreciation for, and to return kindness. So I like this because we think about gratitude, about just thankful, it's having a thankful heart, but it's also showing appreciation, like you're appreciating somebody for doing something, saying something, and then also returning that kindness. So that was very interesting for me. All right, gratitude is also a selfless act. Okay, gratitude is a selfless act. The first part of gratitude, ironically enough, is just like mindfulness, acknowledgement. Being able to acknowledge the fact that this is something that has happened for you, to you, and it makes you feel good. The second part is recognizing that it is beyond yourself. So sometimes somebody may give you something and you may think to yourself, I'm not worthy. Well, it's beyond you, right? So looking at gratitude and thankfulness as acknowledgement and beyond yourself, not being selfish, but being selfless, okay? I'm gonna ask a question, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, Desiree. We are educators, moms, dads, professionals. Is it possible that you all have encountered anybody who has been selfish? Has anybody encountered anybody who has been selfish, gotten something, maybe a promotion, a trophy at work, won the lottery and said, I just did this because I'm great? Has anybody ever had that happen, or you sit back and you hear people say things like that? Like, I did this because I'm amazing. You said yes, and sometimes it's you, Desiree. Okay, I'll take it. I receive it. So acknowledgement, right? And so Ms. Garcia, you said, I intend to gather myself back together and refocus on the important things that are in front of me. That's a great intention. I like that a lot. So Desiree said, yes, sometimes she is the selfish one. Okay, well, I'll take that. I think sometimes I am too, but I never say it. All right.
I think we all are, right? At some points, I think we all are. We admit it.
Yeah, I just wasn't ready for your answer. But I think you're absolutely right. I think sometimes we are amazed at ourselves and we say, well, I really deserved like that accolade, or I really deserved that because I worked hard. But also being able to say, I'm thankful for it is moving beyond the selfish part. And so I know that you have a gracious heart, but I wasn't ready for your yes. And sometimes it's me answer. It's hilarious. All right. And so let's dive into a little bit of the meat here. Talks about 3 types of gratitude expression. So there was a study done with little people, and I think they were 14 and under, and it had them come up with expressions of gratitude. So if somebody does something good for you, what would that look like, right? And they asked these kiddos, well, what would that look like for you? And so some kids said, well, somebody bringing me a Barbie doll. Another kid said, somebody giving me a hug. Another child said, somebody being my friend, right? And so the professionals were able to categorize all of these expressions of gratitude, and they came up with 3 main areas. The first one is verbal. Verbal meaning, thank you so much, using words that feel good. I really appreciate you. You are smart, you are intelligent. And then also concrete, which is actually having something tangible to give them, like the Barbie doll or like a book or money, right? And then the third thing is connective, the child expecting to have a relationship, feeling connectivity or love, or knowing that down the road this person would be supportive of them. And so I wanted to put this on here because, first of all, I didn't know that there were areas of gratitude. And the second part of that is, that's interesting for us as educators, because if we recognize what motivates our students, or even what motivates us, what areas do we feel more connected with of gratitude? Am I a verbal gratitude person? Am I a concrete gratitude person? Am I a connective gratitude person? And if I'm able to realize what my student wants, then I am able to build the relationship with them, right? So for me, put in the chat right now, which one do you think you are? Are you more of a verbal, concrete, or connective expression type person? Which one would you want to receive? Would you want to receive more verbal, more concrete, or more connective? Put that for me in the chat. Yes, I see verbal, connective, verbal, yeah. Anybody else? Connective, connective. And so these are really good because, like I said, I didn't know about the specific areas. I just know what feels good to me. And so I'm not somebody who has to hear it, but my husband said that he enjoys knowing that when he does video work or when he takes photos, that the people that he's doing the work for, even his school principals, that they are thankful, right? That they appreciate the work, that he's doing the right types of work for them to be able to say something, not just give a good thumbs up and then that's it. So, but for me, I don't necessarily need the verbal, but I think I really need the connection. Everywhere I work, I find that I need relationships. I need to connect with groups of people. And if I'm not able to connect, then I'm not as productive as I would be if I were able to have those connections. And so just taking like an evaluation of yourself. And I see somebody else said, I am more verbal, but I want to be connective. And then somebody else says connective. And so Kathleen, that's very interesting because you bring up a good point. We may be more than one. Our students may be more than one, but we have to look at what draws them in, what motivates them, what feels good to them. And it's okay to do a soft survey, and ask them the questions like, well, what would you rather? Would you rather me tell you did a really good job on this test and I appreciate your help in the classroom? Or would you rather know that I'm here to support you, not just in the grade level that I'm teaching you in, but throughout your stay at this school or in life, if you need me, I'm here for you. And then having them know that that relationship is there. So that's something to think about for yourselves, as well as for your classroom and even for your colleagues. And if you have any questions at any point, stop me. We have a lot of information, but Desiree, we like to have a good time. But why as an educator? So as an educator, what is important about taking a look at all these extra things, right? We're just diving down and deeper into more information about gratitude and why is it important in the work that we do. Having gratitude allows for greater job satisfaction, higher productivity, retention, stronger teams, greater health benefits, less burnout, right? So we know that burnout is real. And in 2020 for me, I was like, burnout is a whole nother level, because now I'm teaching virtually and in person, and I'm on 24-hour call because of the type of work that we do, and I have to figure this out and support teachers and take care of 2 little people in my own house. Burnout, it was another level for me, and I'm sure it was for you as well. And then, of course, stress reduction. So as educators, these things are benefits when we take a look at gratitude. All right. Now let's look at why as an individual, because believe it or not, I've had some people say, well, I don't really care about being a teacher right now. I just need benefits for myself. I'm here for me. And if you are here for you, this is fine too. Enhanced overall well-being, mental, emotional, and physical benefits of just applying gratitude routines to your daily schedule. Deeper relationships. We just talked about taking a look at which one are we? Are we verbal? Are we concrete? Are we connective? And for our students, improved optimism, being able to say, yes, I'm in a hotel for a very long time, but I'm here with my family. We're warm, we're safe, the people are kind, there's a free breakfast every morning. So having optimistic thoughts. Increased happiness is a benefit of gratitude. Stronger self-control. I really like this one. My dad was an advocate for telling students to have self-control, like control yourself, be able to regulate yourself in any situation, because you can do it, and it gets easier with practice. Better physical health and athleticism. Stronger neurologically based morality. Wow. Being able to make sound judgment decisions. I talked about me being a prevention education specialist, right? Where we have conversations with students about making healthy choices and teaching them healthy coping skills, like stay away from drugs and alcohol, because if you go that route, the problem is still going to be there when you come out of being drunk, or when you come out of being high, the problem is still there. We want you to use the good tools, good mechanisms to make healthy choices to get through whatever situation you're going through. So being able to just make those choices having gratitude, having a daily gratitude practice will help to enlighten our students and ourselves to make better moral choices, right? And it's data that suggests that. And so Desiree, I do want to let them know that we have resources. So it's a lot of information, but a lot of resources are included with the link that Desiree provided earlier, and you will have access to that and some handouts, because teachers love a handout. All right, so before we go to resilience, do I have any questions or comments about what we've covered so far? Any questions or comments? All right, I see the light up. Oh, okay, so Desiree just posted again where you can get the free resources for everything, right? Okay, so here we have resiliency. I put this here for my mom. I think she's on the call. In life, when things would happen to me growing up, she would say, hey, when you look at flowers, you see the pretty flowers, you see pretty leaves. But she said, but you know what? Every flower has to go through dirt, Tanya. You got to go through some dirt to be the beautiful flower in the very end. And so I found this picture. So Mom, this is for you, of this plant growing through the concrete. This particular plant, flower, whatever it is, it might be a butterbean, I don't know, is being resilient. Being able to say, I'm going through something, but I am strong enough, I'm tough enough, I'm wise enough, and I'm resilient. Being able to bounce back from whatever in a way that is healthy, that is holistic, and to just shine for other people. So we want to be able to be resilient for ourselves, our family, and also to model good behaviors for our students. All right, so the definition for resilience: the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness, the ability to spring back into shape. So I really, really, really like that graphic. Okay, and here, gratitude fuels resilience. Desiree, did you see that puff? Did you see that? I did that for you. Look, watch again. Boom.
I saw it.
So I put that there because I saw this and I was like, man, that's pretty deep. You know, I just kept looking at the words like gratitude fuels resilience. What? So you're telling me if I'm able to bounce back, I'm able to bounce back in a healthy, mighty way because I'm able to be thankful. I'm able to think that, you know, I am deserving of wonderful things, but I'm also able to say, you know, you are too, right? I appreciate you. I am able to be genuine, be honest, to be heartfelt, and to express that outside of myself. And so that really means a lot to me. And I love the video of the puff and all the colors. It just felt really, really good. I wanted to share that with y'all this morning. Now I'm see if I can go to the next slide. Okay. All right, here's another one that I really enjoy. Focus on blessings instead of the barriers. Yes, I heard Desiree say earlier she didn't have any water. Her water pressure is really low. But did you also hear her say she is going to get ready for her session at 1 o'clock? Like, she's still moving forward in what's going on. Many of you all are thankful and put in the chat, I'm thankful for having energy. I'm thankful for water. I'm thankful for family members, for everybody being healthy and safe, even in the midst of going through all of these barriers that we've encountered in the last week. I mean, some people are still snowed in. We are still able to focus on the things that we are blessed with. We're still able to say we're still standing, and we're focusing on the good. We're focusing on the optimistic thoughts. We're focusing on the happy thoughts, kind of like Peter Pan and Wendy, right? You can fly if you focus on the happy thoughts. Who knew we'd be bringing that up today? But that's what it's all about, focusing on the blessings and not the barriers. And so I see something in the chat. Oh, amen. Thank you, Desiree. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, so what do we do? And Desiree, we're building on these things because when we had our first session, we went through a lot of mindful activities. If you were not able to attend that session, remember you can go to her YouTube channel and you can see what we talked about. What are some good examples of mindful activities? Mindful eating, taking a deep belly breath, writing down things about yourself that you would like to work on, but also things that make you shine bright, things that make you an individual and a wonderful person, right? Being able to create self-care plans. What can you focus on mentally and emotionally? What can you focus on physically? You know, how can you incorporate gratitude in your daily life? And then here we are, implement gratitude routines. We're building on these resources. Something you can do every morning. I read that if you wake up and you focus 3 minutes of your day before you even brush your teeth or use the restroom, 3 minutes you take and you say, I am thankful for, I am appreciative of. 3 minutes in the morning and 3 minutes at night, that you will have a more productive day, a better feeling day, and some data has shown that even a healthier day because you started your day off right. So implementing some gratitude routines. And so as we build with our sessions every month, we'll add to the list. And here we are, taking care of yourself helps to keep your mind and body primed to deal with situations that require resilience. That is from the American Psychological Association. Taking care of yourself helps to keep your mind and your body primed to deal with situations that require resilience. We keep hearing this word resilience, right? Because all of these things are helping to build us up, helping to keep us strong, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we do know that we have tools in our toolkit to face it. And we want to encourage our students to have the same just thought. Okay, I'm gonna take a moment here, Desiree. So I talked about mindful eating, and I know we're getting close to our time here, about 20 minutes. I would love for everybody to be able to show their video for me, and we're gonna do a mindful activity. You know, I like to practice and see you. So if we could have everybody show their video for me, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, please. And I want you to grab either your drink or your food, and I want to take you through a mindful eating activity. And if you tell me no, that's fine too. I see you. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I appreciate you. Thank you, Mom. Great. Okay, so go ahead and grab something. I have the Chobani strawberry Greek yogurt. Okay. Now, Desiree, don't laugh at me, okay? This is our mindful activity. All right. And so, Desiree, I want you to be part of my commentary. So you don't have to show your video because I know a lot's going on over there. But I want you to talk through this with me. Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay, I love you. I love you. You're my friend. Okay. So what I want to do is, Ms. Johnson, get ready to laugh, okay? I want you to first take a deep belly breath. We did our first session. It was either January or November. We talked about belly breathing. You're going to go ahead and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. And I want you to do that 2 more times. You're going to take deep cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's do 1 more. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. And that just kind of helps us to reset, cleanse out what we have going on. And I want you to take either your beverage or your food item, fruit, whatever you have by you, a piece of candy. I talked about having an Altoid. I have my Chobani Greek strawberry yogurt and some granola. And what I want you to do is to go ahead and just take a bite of what it is, right? Okay, don't laugh at me. Y'all ready? Okay. And as we take our bite, or we take our sip, we're probably familiar with whatever it is, right? But this time, I want you to take another bite or another sip, and I want you to think about the texture. I want you to think about if it's refreshing, if it's warm, if it's cold, if it feels good going down, how it tastes. If it crunches, how long does it crunch for? If it is savory, if it's sweet, if it's hot, if it's cold. All right, take another bite this time, and I want you to chew or sip really slow. And I just want you to close your eyes and think about what you are experiencing inside of your mouth with the flavors. And then I'm going to call on 2 people and let you put it in the chat for me. Let's go ahead and do that now. Take your time. Okay, I heard somebody. Does somebody want to speak to that for me? How do you feel with the flavors or the food or the drink when you took the second bite in comparison to the first bite, or the first sip in comparison to the second sip? Anybody?
It was crunchy as well as flavorful because I had a Lance's Toasties peanut butter crackers
Oh, yes.
With some Hawaiian punch drink.
Oh, so you had a lot of experiences happening over there, right, Ms. Johnson?
It was a burst of flavor.
A burst of flavor. And so let me ask you this. Have you ever done a mindful eating activity before?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and so how did you feel about it? Is it something that you think you would like to enjoy doing different types of food or in different groups of people?
I think it would be fun, yeah.
Definitely, because you're kind of like focusing in on this one specific activity versus having all of these different things happening, right? So yeah. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you for that, because when we think about mindfulness and gratitude, they coincide. They work very well together. Being mindful means that we're focusing on something in the present moment, whether it's something we're touching, tasting, seeing, hearing, touch, taste, see, hear, or smelling. I was trying to think of the sense. Or smelling. Just now, we were actually focusing on just the taste. And believe it or not, when you really start to pay attention to what's going on in one specific area, you forget about everything else. Even though I'm in a hotel, I'm by the interstate, when I was eating my food with you all, it was like my ears stopped working. I couldn't hear anything because I was so focused on the food. And so we want to actually do these practices to bring us to a position of being centered, to bring us to the present moment. It helps us and our students to know that we are safe. So if we have students who are maybe frustrated or worried about something down the line going home, we want to center them and bring them to the present moment, even if it's something with mindful eating. We may not be able to do it in the classroom now, but even giving that example to them or doing it for ourselves, I think is a healthy practice to do. Somebody else unmuted, and I don't not acknowledge that you may have had something to say. Anybody else? Okay, and Desiree, is there anything else in the chat? Oh, Dr. Lisa said yummy. Yes. And we can be each other's tools of help in building each other up. That is so correct, so correct. Okay, and so we're gonna go ahead and move forward because I don't wanna spend too much time on that, but mindful eating is a great gratitude activity. We are thankful for the Hawaiian punch. We are thankful for the peanut butter cracker. I'm thankful to hear it because it sounds absolutely delicious. And so we're actually able to include gratitude even in that practice, in that moment. Okay, so here we have an example of trauma recovery. Okay, and so next month we're talking about trauma-informed care for the educator. So I wanted to put this graphic here to just kind of show you a preview of how we're diving into that and how it ties into gratitude. So here we have an avocado. The outer peel is what people see on the outside, sometimes bumpy, otherwise fine, looks great. On the inside, you have the squishy goo, feelings, all of the feelings, plus mental health symptoms, somatic symptoms, triggers, disassociation, and then we have the pit, the hard part of the avocado that I didn't even know about until I chomped into one. The traumatic memories, beliefs about self or world that are based in trauma and shame. And so when we think about trauma, we also want to think, how can we be resilient through trauma? We've talked a lot over the last few months about having to go through COVID, having to be virtual teachers, having to be on 24/7. I'm gonna let Ms. Johnson in. 24/7 with our students, with families, and then with our own families having to deal with significant loss and grief. And now we're throwing in winter storms and things that are beyond our control. So we have different levels of trauma that we're having to deal with, and we need to recover, right? We can't stop the situations that we're going through. Everybody goes through trauma differently, but we're still experiencing levels of trauma and different layers of them. So I wanted to show the avocado to say that people may look fine on the outside and may not be okay on the inside. And so just establishing gratitude routines for yourself helps. Something as small as 3 minutes in the morning, saying what you're thankful for and being appreciative will help, okay? Does anybody have any questions about this graphic, and how do you feel about this comparison? Any comments or questions about this particular graphic? Okay, and if you do, just let me know.
The last thing we spoke about,
Yes,
it said drinking enough water keeps me moving and helps me feel like I'm doing something beneficial for my body. And then we have,
yes.
I love this picture, and hits the nail on the head.
Okay, thank y'all. Thank you for letting me know we're on the right track, because I can't see everything. I'm in this little computer screen in the hotel, y'all, but I appreciate that. And about the water. So with my fitness group, we did a water challenge, Desiree, for the entire month of January. I think it was January. And so for me, I found out you should be drinking at least half your body weight for water. And I realized I was actually less hungry. I didn't have like severe night cravings for things that were, I don't like a lot of sweets. I like a lot of salty, like a lot of meat and like carbs. And so drinking a lot of water helped me to subside those cravings on my own. And now if I don't drink enough water, I feel like I'm missing something. So definitely being aware of like staying hydrated and putting good things inside of your body to just combat illness. And illness physically and illness mentally is good. So I'm happy that somebody put the water in there. So good stuff. All right. So what does building a culture mean and how do we do it? And I'm looking at the time, Desiree, I know. All right. We are remembering to be mindful. Okay. Being more conscious and aware of something in the present, calmly acknowledging your own feelings, your mind, and your bodily sensations. The mind-body connections that we talked about last month are still there, making sure that we are implementing self-care practices, that we are connecting to ourselves and others, just as we did for the mindful eating activity. Creating a culture of gratitude. So I want y'all to take a picture of this, and you'll also have the resources, but I wanted to share it. Physical space, making sure that you have in your classroom and in your home, self-care areas, making sure that you have mindfulness tools available. So I brought, it's used up now, but this is like an aromatherapy for your solar plexus. It talks about like having purpose, and it's like a fragrance that smells really, really good, and it helps me to focus and to think. And it came in like a roll-on, right? So some people may use essential oils. Some people like salt baths. It's up to you. Having a gratitude board is something that I found on Pinterest. And I think I put the link in for your resources as well. Having a gratitude board in your room or a gratitude journal is something that's really, really good for our students and for yourself. I started one in the hotel. So I try to write in that, and it makes me feel better to put it on paper. Having a gratitude jar, putting things that you're thankful for inside of the jar, and have your students join in that practice with you. That's for your physical space. For your mental and emotional space, saying thank you. We talked about being genuine, being honest, being heartfelt, implementing routines. If you start something small. Don't say you'll do 20 things this week because we talked about it today. No, just start small. Start with the 3 minutes in the morning and then kind of sustain that practice. Meditating. We said again, the gratitude journal, and we practice the mindful eating already. So making sure that you do that. Okay. And Ms. Glover, you said you journaled all your life. That's amazing. Saying that it's good for reflection, to be able to go back and see how you've grown and how you handle certain situations, and to show how resilient you are. And that motivates you in times of trauma. So thank you for sharing that with us. All right. There was a study done in 2012 with 1,700 people, and it found out that these employees within the next year wanted to quit their job and find another job because they felt underappreciated and undervalued. It didn't say they didn't make enough money. It didn't say that their students didn't meet the benchmark, so they wanted to leave. It didn't say that their principal left the school and they had to have a new principal. None of that. Employees wanted to leave that job because they felt underappreciated and undervalued. Put in the chat for me if you agree. If you agree that if you are underappreciated and undervalued, that is a hard environment to work in. I know it is for me. Yes. Yes. All right, so we'll jump through the discussion because we talked a lot already. All right, so what do we do? What do we do to continue to build that culture? We identify if our students and ourselves have their needs met. We know the different areas of Maslow's show that there is physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and also self-part, right? So we want to make sure that their needs are being met. All right, we continue to create culture, developing our own gratitude habit, matching expressions of appreciation to the specific recipient. We talked earlier about those 3 areas for our students. Also want to talk about the 5 love languages, right? So if I'm a person who loves affirmation, then I would need my supervisor or my coworkers to affirm my quality of work. Thank people who are rarely thanked. That's something to think about. Think about students who may feel like they never get compliments, or they never are told that they're doing a really good job on something specific, right? So we want to identify those students and sow into them. Create gratitude giving opportunities. And then also, we are social animals. And I found this interesting, of behavior, and our behaviors influence others' behaviors. So what does that mean? That means if Tanya shows up to work, and if I give everybody a note that says, I appreciate you, and I give a specific reason, then eventually over time, I may spark gratitude in somebody else, and they may want to show everybody else in the office, that they're thankful for them as well, right? Another example is, think about when you go on different school campuses. School environments and campuses have different feels to them because of who the principals are, how the school is run, how the parents operate, and that bleeds into our children. So we want to make sure that we are creating a culture first with ourselves, in our classrooms, and then we spark good gratitude with everybody else surrounding us. All right. Oh, it can be toxic. Y'all are cutting up in this chat box. I'm missing all the fun. So yes, thank you, Desiree. If you feel valued, you will work harder for less. Come on, somebody. We are here on a Saturday cutting up, right? All right, here are the 5 love languages. And take a picture of this if you want it. And also, this is included in your resource link. Information, quality time, acts of service, tangible gifts, and physical touch, location appropriate. I wanted to put that because don't y'all go touching these children now in the coronavirus, but just know that is a sign of love language. All right. Tell me in the chat which one is yours. Your love language. Mine is quality time. Quality time. I want your time. Desiree said gifts. All right, Desiree. Desiree said she wants you to buy her something and give it to her.
It doesn't have to be bought, but
oh, I'm sorry.
I like giving gifts and giving things more than the rest.
Oh. Okay, so wait. Okay, so you brought up a good point. You said you like giving. You are a giver. But I want to know what is yours. Yeah. So what's the way to your heart?
Yeah.
Give same thing? Okay. So okay, now I'm that's good to know. So knowing that is 2 ways. So it's like, what would you like to do? How are you giver? So for me, I'm an affirmer and I'm an active service giver. But to get back, I would rather your quality time. I want you to sit up under me and watch Netflix with me all day long. Okay. Words of affirmation and quality time, physical touch, affirmation, gifts and affirmation, yes. That's where youthebomb.com in so many things, on so many levels. All right, brain break. We took it already because I knew it was coming. We did a nice belly breath and we cleansed. So really good to do that. If you want to learn more about the deep belly breathing, go to Desiree's YouTube channel and find that mindfulness for educators session. Pretty good. Still up there, and take a look at that. Persistence. I love this definition. The firm or obstinate continuance in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. Persisting on. How can we stay resilient? How can we stay persistent? By reflecting on things that we are thankful for, things that we appreciate, even if they're small, even if it's things that we have in adversity, right? So being able to say, yes, I'm snowed in, but I really haven't seen snow in a long time and it's so pretty, right? Like, I don't have running water right now. I'm having to boil water, but if I boil that water so I can brush my teeth, I can also boil water and make a nice hot cup of tea. So being able to kind of reframe the thought, even in the midst of adversity, y'all, this is something, but we want to show our kiddos we can do it. Self-care practices to help build resilience. Here we go. We talked about this in our last session, but also tying it into intentional gratitude. Make time for your closest relationships and talk about what you're going through. Reframe a difficult experience, stressful situation, and make it a learning experience. Try to avoid catastrophic thinking and learning from others who model resilience. Prioritize exercise, sleep, a healthy diet, including that water we talked about. And then taking a break from media, because sometimes watching things that frustrate us, even if it's new movies that are out, staying away from those toxic environments, especially while we're fragile and we're vulnerable, is healthy. Making things intentional. Earlier, somebody said they want to have intentional gratitude. Focusing on that one thing like we did for mindful eating is important. Focusing on reframing your thought. Focusing on when you're drinking water, you're tasting the water and you're thankful for being able to have bottled water or boiled water, right? So just being more intentional, and it is always good to write it down to help with that roadmap like we did in our icebreaker. Writing down at the beginning of your day what you intend to do for your gratitude practice. So if you intend to 3 minutes, say, I intend to do 3 minutes of gratitude today. If you intend to do mindful eating during lunch, write it down. I intend to do mindful eating today at lunch, and encouraging your students to do the same thing in a gratitude journal, as a gratitude bell ringer. Right? Even, going home and having these conversations with their parents, I think would help with our families going through so much right now. We're going to skip that 5-minute guided meditation again. We'll get to it next time. every month, we're like, we'll do it. Here's some takeaways. Y'all jot these down or take a picture of this. Say thank you. Be genuine, be honest, be heartfelt. We've said that several times today. Reframe your thoughts to shift your attitude. Gratitude fuels resilience. Identify your own love languages and then help other people identify theirs. Perform random acts of kindness. My husband does random snaps of kindness on Snapchat with his kids because he teaches high school. They have Snapchat, and that's his digital media class. So you can always customize your educational experience for your students based on what you like. So you don't have to do random acts. You can do random snaps. You can do random pictures. You can do random thoughts. And teaching the students to do the same thing. Reflect and extend grace to others and yourself. Are we perfect? No. Are we selfish? Sometimes. But extending grace to ourselves and to others will help us on our gratitude journeys. And then lastly, seeing the beauty in all things, because in the end, all things will work for our good as we continue to strive, educate children, and help one another. And so Ms. Garcia says, we often love others in the way that we would like to be shown love. Yes, that is spot on. And thank you for putting that in the chat. Okay, well, this is one last time. Feeling connected to the family and school has lasting positive effects on adolescence well into adulthood. So us strengthening our gratitude processes and routines will allow us to continue to build those relationships. We want our students to have decreases in violent activities, decrease in sexual partners. If you have older kiddos, decrease in misuse of prescription drugs, emotional distress, and also illicit drug use. And then we also want our students, let's see, I'm trying to get the next one, y'all, I'm sorry. Our students to have positive health outcomes through adulthood. And so if we have better connections with our youth, they're less likely to have mental health issues, less likely to experience or to participate in violent activities, less likely to engage in risky sexual behavior, and less likely to abuse substances. So as they grow into adulthood, they'll have better protective factors. So all these things are connected, right? The choices that we make in the classroom now, 3rd and 4th grade, believe it or not, choices that they make through adulthood, and through much is required. We have great power. I am to be with you all today for enlightening, to helping me through my journey. These are the resource links that you will have access to through Desiree's YouTube and through the link she put in the chat. And I want to put this here and just say thank you so much for your time. If we have any questions or comments, I am available. And I hope to see you for trauma-informed care next month. Desiree?
Beautiful. Thank you so very much. As always, we appreciate everything that you not only walk us through, but tell us why it's important. And some of the stuff that you did, I feel like we can do with our students as well. So not only, self-care for us, but also things that we can teach to our families and to our students. So Tanya, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you again this month. We appreciate it greatly.
Thank you, and I appreciate you.